Hey guys, Mike McErlane with WorkoutTrainer.com, and I'm just want to do another video regarding some questions I've been getting. I have done different videos filming in my garage talking about different supplementation, things like obviously some of the products I use. Of course, I only take gym supplements, and for many different reasons, which I'll get into. Well, actually, right now I'll just tell you the one reason. One of the reasons why I take the gym product line is because Dr. Jim Stepani, and I know who formulated the product. So when you guys take different products from all these different companies out there, these other brands, one of the things I like to know is who actually formulated the product. And I will tell you this, it'll be a cold day in hell before a lot of these other brands really say who these people are with their, if they really truly are the ones who actually formulated the products, because there's very little science. R&D don't really dive too much into the history of sports nutrition. They're more like hired help. So when you compare the two to the people who are actually behind the brands, you got one side a guy like Dr. Jim Stepani, who is a PhD from University of UConn, actually did research at University of Yale in their research lab for several years on not only just sports nutrition, but also molecular biology, as well as the effects that both exercise, nutrition, and specific supplements have on the cell of the muscle. So, when you look at the history of somebody like that, and then also he was a senior science editor at Muscle and Fitness Magazine is how I met him. And, I know who formulated the products. I know that he actually takes his own products. He formulated the products for himself. So when it comes to who to choose as far as trust goes, it's always been him. Not to mention the fact the products are just absolutely amazing. I'm actually taking my protein I just finished. See, you can actually see there's still some protein in there. So I actually do take it. But one of the things I wanted to talk about, speaking of proteins, I'm sitting here, I was answering some questions, and a few people were still asking me if I could just explain a little bit better about protein spiking. I know Jim's done a phenomenal job at doing it. There's a lot of information out there. But lately, there's been a lot of controversy, as well as a lot of different things that have come into play here. Shut my phone off here so it doesn't ring on you guys. But a lot of things, Forbes put out an article on protein spiking, so obviously it's getting some mass media attention. There are some brands mentioned in there. I'm not going to mention any for the sake of just, it's not necessary. But how to tell, and what exactly is protein spiking for those of you who don't know? Listen, amino acids are a great thing to take separately than what you're wanting to get out of something like protein. When you're taking protein, first of all, there are different types of protein, okay? There's fast digesting protein, which is your whey isolate. There's slow digesting protein, which is your casein. There's egg protein. There's different forms of protein. And throughout the course of the last several years, protein, most protein companies, when they manufacture their protein, they've manufactured whey isolate as a separate product. They've also manufactured casein, are the real two popular forms. You have a fast digesting protein and a slow digesting protein. And traditionally, a lot of the research back then was showing that what you would want is you would want to weigh a fast absorbing, fast digesting protein both before and after a workout, and then take casein at night for a slow digestion. But a lot of new research has come out, and they've actually found that having a blend of not just whey and casein, but also egg, as well as even milk protein isolate together, and taking that blend together at specific doses. So for instance, like Pre-Gym has 7.5 grams of whey protein isolate, 7 grams of micellar casein, 7 grams of milk protein isolate, and 2.5 grams of egg white protein. Now, what you would want to do is you would want to actually combine milk protein isolate and whey protein isolate, because those are fast absorbing, fast digesting. So those specific whey protein sources combined actually have shown to be better than just taking a whey protein isolate. So a lot of the vast majority of proteins out there are whey protein isolate proteins. Very little blends. And even if they are, you have to really pay attention to the grams. And are they a blend of not just whey and casein, but also a blend of the 4 protein sources, much like pre-gym. There are different, other types of protein like pea protein, hemp protein, but the jury's still out on some of those proteins. But ideally, this really is the best protein that you're going to find on the market for several different reasons. Obviously, the ones I just discussed. The other one is also because, and a lot of brands and companies are actually trying to, duplicate what Jim's done here, because he started the standard of actually making sure it's a non-proprietary blend. So that means that he's listing out the actual grams of the protein. So when you turn the bag around here, and you actually see right here where it says, let me get a pen or a card or something, where you see it says protein 24 grams, you know if you add this up that there's 24 grams of protein when you add all those numbers up. So that's what's called a non-proprietary blend. He's telling you the exact ingredients and then the actual doses of those ingredients. Some companies are starting to try to do that, but you got to be worried, because a lot of these companies who are doing that were also the same ones who are now in the media and being guilty of protein spiking. And there's so many different little tricks that can go into doing things, just practically lying on labels. So what is protein spiking? Well, I just explained the amounts of protein that is in pre-gym. When you start adding things such as glutamine, even creatine, taurine, glycine, beta-alanine, leucine, isoleucine, valine, those are all branched chain amino acids, different types of branched chain amino acids. You want to make sure that your protein does not contain amino acids as a part of the ingredient profile that they're claiming for protein. Here's the reason why. Because when you want protein from sources like whey, casein, egg, and others, you don't want them as branched chain amino acids, because those are cheap sources of protein, to where it's completely different than saying, hey, I want protein from whey and casein. And it's a lie. How do you tell? So that's called protein spiking. And the reason why companies do that is because when you do the testing on these products, the testing for protein is based off of a nitrogen level. So they're actually, they can't really tell and distinguish, how much protein is coming from, whether it's a whey protein or whether it's a source like, taurine or glycine or something like that. So anything with an INE at the end of it can count towards the protein amount. So the consumers have been duped. They've been lied to, thinking that they're getting 24 or 30 grams of whey protein isolate when it might only be 10 or 15 grams in the cases that have been, tested now in some of the protein that's out there, because they're not listing the amount of whey protein. Jim does, but these other companies don't. So they'll say 24, 25 grams of protein, and then what they'll do, and this is how to tell. Now, companies are getting a little bit trickier now, so I'll be doing a video here to explain some of that. But what you want to do is, if you look on the underneath this table here, you'll notice it says ingredient facts, ingredients, and you'll see it lists protein blend, whey protein isolate, micellar or casein. In this paragraph here, the majority of all protein powders, if you look underneath, will have ingredients and a listing of words that you guys may not even understand. If you see ingredients that end in INE, glutamine, taurine, glycine, creatine, beta-alanine, those you can pretty much have about a 90 to 95% certainty that is protein spiked. Okay, so that's what you want to look out for. Now, there are other instances to where some companies will have the protein broken down with the ingredients, but then have an amino acid profile listed separately from the actual protein amount and the ingredients. That's a little bit different story. Not too many brands actually do that if they are trying to throw in aminos. But remember, one of the reasons why Jim actually came out with his system, and this is the first system, and a lot of companies are trying to copy him. Oh, Jim Stoppani just did a pre, a post, and a protein, and that's his system. The Jim system is not just about the products that he came out with. He did these products to where you could actually take them together, but he also created these products where they can be taken with certain workout programs that he offers to his fans. And Jim makes himself available for these people on a daily basis. I work with the guy every single day, and he's literally on Twitter and Facebook about 7 to 8 hours a day. You know, he can hardly get a conversation, let a phone call in, because he's always on his damn phone. So one of the things to really understand is just knowing what to look for when you're talking about protein spiking. Look, I'll make it easy for you. The best thing I can do is to educate. The best suggestion I can give you guys is to educate yourself. Don't take my word for it. Don't even take Jim's word for it. Just find out the information out there. The trail of breadcrumbs is going to lead you back to, you know, individuals that you can trust. One thing that Jim is all about, as well as I'm all about, is the fact of being open and honest with the consumers. If there's something out there that is probably a good thing for you guys to know, Jim and I want to talk about it. I know he certainly does, as do I. If there are certain things that we don't know or that I don't know. I don't claim to be a sports nutrition expert. Most of my education has actually come from Jim in that arena. I went to school for exercise physiology, biomechanics, but we didn't go into the supplement part of it. So I defer to him. But I did my own homework. I didn't just take his word for it. I listened to him and then would fact check a lot of the different things that I saw in the marketplace to educate myself. And I encourage you guys to do the same thing. So when you're out there looking for products, number one, just be familiar with what you need to look for. Just don't take something that your buddy tells you to take because he thinks it's good. Understand what, this information is important. You have to start, making sure that you're familiar with it and educating yourself in the process, because remember, these are your goals. They're not mine, they're not Jim's, they're not anybody else's. These are your goals. And so you got to make sure that you can have the right information available to you and educate yourself on ways to actually hit the goals. But don't fall for all this marketing stuff when these new brands start coming out and new companies. And look, it's very seldom that you'll actually get somebody like a Dr. Jim Stoppani to where he'll, put himself out there to be available to you guys to where you can actually ask him questions, myself included. But then also the other part of the gym system is the workout programs. Those workout programs are designed to actually work with the products based on what the protocols for that workout program, whether it's mass gain, whether it's a fat loss, performance program. The products are kind of meant to fit into a system that he offers on the website, both his jimstoppani.com, which he and I run, as well as Gym Supplement Science. There's meal plans and things like that break everything down for you guys. So, be aware of protein spiking. It's a hot topic. If you are taking protein right now, turn it around. Look at it. If you see on the ingredients, look for the ingredients, guys. Look for it. Ingredients. Right there. If you see anything ending in INE, you better start educating yourself as to what you need to know. So if you have any more questions, feel free to ask me. I'll make myself available as much as I can. But follow Jim, guys. Until next time, it's Mike McErlane. Take care.